New Black Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature that's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
All right, man. Good morning to you, Grand Rising, to you, kings and queens, brothers and sisters. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put in a book like the Black Billionaires Club, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified global financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, The Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book that we're reading today, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, Study of Black Wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Black Billionaires Club, man. You can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. We only got about 6 copies left, and once these copies are sold, we will begin to work on book number 2, which is going to be an update of the Black Billionaires Club to be able to add our brothers and sisters like Jay-Z and Kanye West and a few others who are now Black billionaires. So it's time for us to update this thing and get a new book out for you guys. So as soon as we sell out of our last few copies, we will begin to research, study, and write Black Billionaires Club. I haven't come up with a title just yet for the second one, but you just be patient, man. It's roll call time here on the Black Billionaires Club. On the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Find out who has joined us here today. Go ahead, hit the like button, the share button, subscribe button, follow button, all the good stuff. If you are your brother's keeper, you are your sister's keeper. If you feel that reading is important, well, go ahead and let them know that we're reading here today, that Black folk are reading. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. Go ahead and let us know where you're connected from here today. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web and a Facebook and also YouTube. Understand that worldwide simply means global, and we have brothers and sisters. We have students all over the world. So just love to know how far our reach is this morning. For those who are joining us live and quite possibly the replay, go ahead and let us know in the comments below where you're connected from. Shout out to our brothers and sisters from BBC TV, from ERGJ Enterprises, from Financial Health Mentor page, from the BBC, and then also for my brothers and sisters over at YouTube, over at ERGJ Enterprises. Good morning to you. Rep your city. Rep your city. Let's find out who's joined us here this morning. Good morning to you, Miss Sincere Newman is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us out of Mapleton, Georgia. It's in the hizzy. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. Good morning to you, Miss Vivian Reed. Thanks so much for joining. I know that you are out of Brooklyn, New York. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. Miss Vivian Reed always showing up to show her support. Let's find out who else is here. Play to Win out of Atlanta. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Good morning to you. Father Francis Osuezo Ogogo out of Nigeria. Oh my good. We got something lined up for you today, brother. Great time for you to join us here today as we're going to be talking about these Black billionaires. And the Black billionaire we're going to talk about today is actually in or from Nigeria. Kena Hall is in the house out of Stamford, Connecticut. Thanks so much for joining us, Queen, here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Jamal Harold is in the house as well, I believe out of New Jersey. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today out on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Miss Vonda Bell is in the house as well, out of Calera, Alabama. Grand Rising to you, Queen. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club as we're going to continue our journey into the Black Billionaires Club, And we are going to be talking about today the Black Billionaire member number 8, the 8th richest Black person in the world. That's right, the 8th richest Black person in the world. It's not going to take us 30 minutes, guys, because I write short stories. So we'll be here probably about 20 minutes, but we get right into this thing, get this information and get the moving on. So anyway, I want to share with you guys again. We saw the book already, the Black Billionaires Club. Again, you can order that book from us. We do have about, like I said, about 6 copies left if you want the physical copy. It is available in French for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and ebook and also audiobook. So we did have a French. We did hire a French person to translate in French verbally. So that's available as well. But we're going to be talking about this woman here. Her name is Folorunsho Alakiji. And she is out of Nigeria. Let's get right into this thing, guys, this morning. The Black Billionaires Club. This is my book. First time I've ever read my book aloud in public. I mean, like really read the whole thing. I read a couple chapters. But we're going to go through this thing here for the next 2 weeks. This week and next week we'll be done. Here's our billionaire bio for Folorunsho Alakiji. And I'll tell you already, this woman has inspired me greatly. I think this is one of the most fantastic stories of the rise of a Black billionaire out of this book. It really captures me. So I'll probably really get into this morning. But anyway, Folorunsho Alakiji is Nigeria's only female billionaire. Nigeria's only female billionaire. So not only is she a billionaire, she's Nigeria's only female billionaire. And there's no other female in Nigeria that's a billionaire. She's the executive vice chairman of Fanfa Oil Limited, a Nigerian oil exploration company. She got rich in oil. She's group managing director of Rose of Sharon Group, the Rose of Sharon Prints and Promotions Limited. That sounds like there's some type of fashion or something like that. Digital Reality Prints Limited, some type of print company. She's national president and trustee of the Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria. So she's into fashion some way, somehow. She's the vice chairman of National Heritage Council and endowment for the arts. I don't know exactly what that is. She's the first female chancellor of Osun State University in Nigeria. Now, we got a brother that's in Nigeria. He probably knows what that is. She's a chief matron of Africa's Young Entrepreneurs. Chief matron of Africa's Young Entrepreneurs. Now, let's find out how Ms. Folorunsho Alakiji, how she built her wealth. Now, Folorunsho Alakiji started off as a secretary in a Nigerian merchant bank in the 1970s. So she started out just like you and I, regular job. She's a secretary. Alakiji had learned a lot from her mom, who used to be a fabric merchant. So in 1984, she quit her job to pursue her passion by studying fashion design in England. So she was a secretary, and then she decided to go pursue her passion, which was in fashion. That's something that kind of rained down in the family from her mom. She enrolled in American college in London, as well as the Central School of Fashion, where she obtained a distinction. A year after her training, she came back to Nigeria and started her first company, Supreme Stitches, which is a fashion house in Surulere, Lagos. So she started off as a secretary, quit her job, went to school, decided to pursue fashion, came back to Nigeria, started her first company, Supreme Stitches, a fashion house in Surulere, Lagos. So again, just regular woman, right? Did this, went here, went to school, came back, started her business. Her tailoring outfit catered to Nigeria's elite women, including former First Lady Mariam Babangida, who was the wife of former military President Ibrahim Babangida. Folorunsho Alakiji was one of the first women in the oil business. Her friend from the world of fashion, Mariam Babangida, helped Alakiji secure an initial appointment with the petroleum minister to acquire prospecting license. So this woman was into fashion. She had her own business. And then she started, her connections in her business led her to an opportunity to get into the oil business. And one of her clients, Miriam Babaginda, helped set up the initial appointment for her to speak to the petroleum or the prime minister of oil to try to secure a prospecting license. So in May of 1993, her company, FAMFA Limited, applied for and was granted an oil prospecting license on a 250,000 hectare or 617,000 acre block, now referred to as OPL 216. It is one of Nigeria's most prolific oil blocks. Wow. Can I get some pineapples in the chat, please? Some pineapples in the chat. What's up, Dave, James in the house out of New York? Now think about this for a second. This is a regular woman. There's a regular average woman. I mean, obviously not average, but, secretary, goes to school, pursues fashion, comes back, starts her business, and then by sheer luck, it seems like, connects with one of the highest women in the country who can make things happen. And she made something happen for Folorunsho. In September of 1996, she agreed to a joint venture with Star Deepwater Petroleum Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Texaco, and appointed the company as a technical advisor for the exploration of the license. In 2000, Chevron bought Texaco, including the partnership with FAMFA Oil. She was one of the first women to partner with Chevron. The new partnership contract left Alakiji holding a 60% stake of the oil block and Chevron taking 40%. Chevron later sold an 8% stake to Petrobras, another big company, in exchange for their deep offshore technical expertise. FAMFA Oil soon found oil in commercial quantities. The announcement of a major find in Alakiji's oil block by Chevron attracted the attention of the Nigerian government, who had initially assumed that the oil block was one of the worst due to its location. The government snatched an initial 40% stake from Alakiji, followed by another 10% stake, leaving her with a meager 10% stake. So the government came in and stole her wealth. But Alakiji was like, Alakiji took the government to court against the wishes of most of her advisors, who believed it would be impossible to win a legal battle against a corrupt government. After a 12-year battle with the federal government, she successfully won her wealth back. The courts returned the 60% shareholding back to Folorunsho Alakiji and her family. Can I get some pineapple? Can I get some hand claps in the chat? Some hand claps in the chat. Black woman who said, nah, I worked too goddamn hard to get to build this wealth. Y'all ain't gonna just come in and just take that shit from me like that. We going to court. Now notice this. All her friends, all her family said, ain't no point. You can't win. Right? They said it went against all of her advisors, said they didn't believe it would be possible. And here's the beautiful thing. It don't matter what everybody else thinks. It don't matter what they believe be possible for you. Question is, what do you believe to be possible for you? She had to get that money back. She had to get, now it wasn't even just the money. It ain't the money. She had to go get her wealth back. The wealth that she had accrued for her whole family. This is her legacy. This is her inheritance. Ms. Alakiji is founder of the Rose of Sharon Foundation, which helps Nigeria's widows and orphans by empowering them through the scholarships and business grants. The Rose of Sharon Foundation is focused on working to alleviate the plights of the world's most vulnerable people, widows and orphans, by giving a 0% interest loan to widows to start up a business. So she's out here giving 0% loans to widows. Those are women who have lost their husbands in Nigeria so they can start their own business. Now, it's not a very long story, as I mentioned to you, but it's one of the most inspiring stories as I think about going from regular, going from average, going from modest means to billionaire status. We're talking about a billionaire here. Now, you can find Alakiji on Instagram. I do follow her Instagram page. She is a very inspiring woman. And you might want to look that up. Look her up on Instagram. That's the only place I've been able to find her. But as I mentioned, or as this story mentioned, as this breakdown mentioned, to go through secretary, to own your own, to school, college, to learn fashion, come back, become your own fashion house, right? Start your own business, connect with the right people, get an opportunity, take advantage of the opportunity. Basically becoming the owner of an oil block that the government didn't believe in. The government thought it was the worst oil block in the country. Ended up being one of the best. And I don't know what that transition looks like from not knowing nothing about oil to now owning an oil block. I don't know how that works, but she did that thing. Everybody putting down so black girl magic. She did that thing. And then once it becomes successful, guess what? The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So here comes the government. Say, I don't know what was wrong with us. Now you got some success. Let's come on and just get that thing. Let's take 50%. Let's take 60% of what you own, leaving you with 10%. And then she said, you know what? Not on my watch. You know what? This is my shit. And she fought for it. She fought for it. And after 12 years of fighting for what was hers, fighting for what she owned, fighting for what she had grew, fighting, she got her shit back. I want you to think about that for a second. Are you willing to fight for what? Are you willing to fight for your right? Are you willing to fight for your right? See, this kind of stuff that billionaires do. This kind of stuff that we don't realize that they go through these legal battles. Are you willing to fight for your right? Now we got a couple of terminology I leave here for, especially for the kids. Make sure they understand some of these words that were used in the story. So we'll go through that. Our billionaire terminology. You might learn something too. Exploration is the first word. It's the action of traveling in or through an unfamiliar area to learn more about it. How many guys are ready to explore? I mean, I woke up this morning ready to explore, ready to find some shit. Exploration. And of course, they do a lot of exploration in finding oil, right? Trustee, that's another word. Trustee is an individual person or member of a board given control or powers of administration of property and trust with a legal obligation to administer it solely for the purposes specified. Endowment, we heard that word. Endowment is an income or a form of property given to someone. Endowment. Chancellor, another big word. Chancellor simply means a senior state or legal official. Now, this was a word I really looked up. I was like, what is this? And when it said that she was the chief matron of the Africa's Young Entrepreneur. So matron. Now, this might be a word, women, that you guys might take up. I mean, I know we have, goddess and queen and all that stuff. But what about matron? Matron, chief matron. Chief matron means a woman in charge of domestic or medical arrangements at a boarding school. A woman in charge of domestic and medical arrangements at a boarding school. Here's another word that I found interesting, distinction. Distinction. This is another word that was used. I forgot where, but distinction. It says distinction means being set apart, often by excellence. Distinction, being set apart, often by excellence. You see, when we start learning some new words, we can start using some new words. Distinction, being set apart, often by excellence. Everybody put in console, excellence. Do you operate in excellence? Do you operate in excellence? Should there be a distinction by your name? That here is Vonda Bell. She operates in excellence. And let's put a distinction by her name. Here is Michelle Teresa Coakley Goff. She operates in excellence. She needs a distinction by her name. Here is Miss Vivian Reed, right? She operates in excellence. She needs a distinction by her name. set apart from the rest. What's going on, Brother Howard Ganton in the house? Thanks so much for joining us. I can't say this word. Hectares, that's another word, very difficult word. It's obviously a measurement. It's a metric unit or a square measure equal to 100 acres, 100 airs, or 2.471 acres. So we're talking about land unit or something like that. I guess they use this word in Africa versus acres, I guess. Prolific, another word. Prolific. Prolific means present in large numbers of quantities or plentiful. Prolific. Then, of course, we heard the word corrupt from our government. Corrupt, showing a willingness to act dishonestly in return for money or personal gain. That's exactly what the government did to Folorunsho Alakiji. The last word I picked out that I thought was might be of good use is meager. M-E-A-G-E-R, meager, lacking in quantity or quality. Meager, lacking in quality or quantity. Now, as I said, guys, we don't. In this particular book, it doesn't take us 30 minutes a day to keep broke and stupid away. We got it done in 20 minutes. But hopefully, you've been inspired by a woman, a Black woman. She's the first woman on the list, by the way. She's not the only woman on the list, but she's the first woman on the list as the 8th richest Black person in the world, who you and I just now, for the most part, many of us just got acquainted with, out of Nigeria, from secretary, her regular job, to going to school and getting a fashion degree, coming back to Nigeria and starting her fashion company, starting her own business. Went from her own business to connecting with with some pretty important people who provided her an opportunity to get into the oil business. And she did just that. Became very successful in the oil business. And here comes the enemy to steal, kill, and destroy. So here comes the government to steal her wealth. And they were successful temporarily. She took the government to court, fought for 12 years, and got her inheritance back. If that's not inspiring to you, a Black woman going through all of this stuff, this is why I wrote the book. This is why I wrote the story, so that you and I could have something to say, you know what? It's not what we think. If you think about it, it's not what you think. It's not what we've been told. It's not what we've been taught. It's not what's been presented to us. But now we have a book written by a Black man that gives us the truth about our own wealth, about our own giants. And this is just 12. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's 2,043 billionaires in the world, and only 12 of them are Black. And all 12 of them, well, now there's more, but when I wrote the book, there were 12. Are in this book. Wouldn't it be useful? Wouldn't it be helpful? Wouldn't it be pretty, useful for your children to know about the 12 Black billionaires who are alive today, who you and I don't know? Wouldn't that be helpful? Well, you got 6 copies left. 6 copies left. Opportunity for you to go do something for your children that they probably won't do for themselves. It's an opportunity for you to go pick up a book that might change their world, where they may not ever be introduced to wealth, ever be introduced to billionaire status, ever be introduced. See, here's the thing. We know they're going to be introduced to poverty. You and I know that our children will be introduced to poverty. But who's going to introduce them to wealth? Let me say that again for the people in the back. You and I know that our children will be introduced to poverty. Well, who's going to introduce them to wealth? Well, that introduction can start with a good book. That introduction can begin with a good book. Again, guys, you can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Like I said, I got 6 copies left before we begin to work on book number 2. to update, right? To update. It's my job now to keep this thing going. This is a book that I sold all by myself. I sold over 5,000 copies by myself. No Amazon. You won't find it on Amazon. Amazon hasn't earned the right to make no money off of me. But let's talk about your right. Let me ask you this. Isn't it your responsibility to introduce your children to wealth? Isn't it your responsibility to introduce your children to wealth? I'm talking about guap. Okay. Anyway, Mr. Gant, thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Mr. Anthony Sims, man, I ain't seen you in the morning in a minute. Appreciate your brother showing up. Miss Vonda Bell and the Hizzy. Thanks so much. Miss Teresa Coakley is in the house, man. Golf, appreciate you, Queen. Miss Vivian Reed, yes. Give them something to aspire to. Absolutely play to win. Said I introduced my son to wealth. Fantastic. I'm glad you did. I'm pretty sure, though, you introduced your son to this kind of wealth. Again, this kind of wealth. To a billionaire status. But yeah, hey, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. Yes, sir, Mr. Jamal Harrod. I appreciate your brothers always showing up, showing your support. And Miss Play to Win. Yes, and when you know better, you do better. That's absolutely not true. I know we say these things sometimes, beautiful people. That's not true. Here's the deal. Let me go ahead and break this down for you. It's not true. Here's the reason why it's not true, because you already know some things. You already know there are some things in your life that you know better that you still have not done better. Now, when you know better, you have the opportunity to do better, but it's not until you do better that you actually do better. And you start thinking about the things that in your life that you know you need to be doing better. You know there's some things in your life that are neglected. You know there's some things in your life that you haven't given your attention to. You know there's some things in your life that you could be doing better, and you simply have not done better yet. So that is simply not a true statement. I always break that thing down when people say it. It sounds good. It sounds good. When you know better, you can do better because you know better, you know to do better. But here's the thing. Doing better is a choice. Everybody put in console my choice. Doing better is a choice, right? It starts by knowing, but it must become a choice. I choose to do better because I do know that better is available to me. And now when you start to getting to the choice, and you start getting to the results, well, now your life starts changing, right? Because you made a conscious decision to do better, and now you start to see better. You start to have more. You start to receive more because you made a decision to do better in your life. And it simply says this, guys, that if you want your life to be better, you must get better. If you want your life to change, you must change. You want your life to increase, you must increase. And that's, I believe, is one of the secrets, so to speak, of this thing called life. Man, thank you so much, Miss Teresa Coakley Golf. That's I appreciate you, Queen. This is just what we do. Okay, this is what we do each and every morning, Monday through Friday. We just give them the business as it relates to, as it relates to just good quality literature, okay? I come in at times, usually studying in the morning. I appreciate you. I know you down like full flat, Mr. I know you down like full flat, Mr. Sims. I love your energy. I appreciate you, Miss Bell, and desire to educate others, man. This is what we do, man, each and every day, man. Thank you so much, Miss Vivian Reed, to come to Conscious Decision. I appreciate. Yeah, absolutely, Miss Play to Win. We here, right? Doing better is a choice. Absolutely, doing better is a choice. That's right, Miss Michelle. Doing better is a choice. Michelle, you must do better to get better. Well, beautiful people, this is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, bringing to you guys the Black Billionaires Club here today. And I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build and keep on building as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we really need. Thank God. That's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New New black, it's the new Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now you ain't gotta leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the new Black Wall Street Book Club. Book Club. Yeah. The new Black Wall Street. The new Black Wall Street Book Club. Book Club.